Hey there, YouTube. Good early morning. It is the witching hour 2 a.m. bar rush, huh? I don't go to the bar though. But I am out here online and I'm on here to show you 2017. Um, and we had that X1 flare. Yeah, maybe I'm a little slow in reporting this part of the news. The reason is because I wanted to study it a little bit and yeah, and how it relates to the flipping of the poles of the sun. And prior to this event, they had a low forecast of anything anywhere close to an X. So despite this right here classification of 2017 as being beta delta, okay, not beta gamma delta, not beta gamma, but beta delta, and that's what I believe is what allowed it to kick off an X1 flare. And I was actually watching it pretty closely. So I just wanted to point out, the uniqueness of this spot. You don't get a lot of beta deltas. Go back out here to my favorite solar ham side here. Go ahead and minimize that a little bit. And so here's your little live report. All quiet since that X1. I want you guys to be very mindful, though. We got this coronal hole here, but we also have another one forming here. So that is very telling. So not only do we have the X-class flare, we have coronal holes that are impacting as well. So I encourage you to go out to Solar Hammer, to Space Weather, your favorite site there, and take a look at what's going on. It's, the Earth is actually going to take this quite well, and there's not going to be it is Earth directed, but it has a component to it. But we'll be able to, there's no threat here. But it is interesting to watch these type of sun flares or sunspots give off the flares. And it is fun to watch and to get good ideas of how these things react. So there's going to be a lot of people paying very close attention to the sunspot. Not only that one, though, but I also think that 2022 over here will be deserving a beta delta perhaps. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that's out there. Now that's your little space weather. What I really wanted to get, well, let me make a pause. Missing flight MH370, excuse me. Like I said, my reports on that are still valid. As a matter of fact, they are now the mainstream alternative news supporting theory that yes, this aircraft has been turned into some sort of weapon. So and there's obviously cover-ups, and everybody's conflicting on their statements and releasing of intelligence and etc. And everybody's running around with their satellites, and it's turned more into a satellite war than it has looking for a flight. And only the United States of America has the ability to make a flight of this nature disappear, because America sees everything all over the globe. They know what happened to this flight, and they're not saying anything. So how are we involved, I don't know, but this is how I get some of my information. This is a document off of .gov, www.gpo.gov, and you can get some pretty neat documents there. Let me show you something here. And it looks very boring, but this is the document where the Congress met to discuss the reopening of the Ronald Reagan Airport. As you may have remembered, there's a lot of incursions on our airspace. Specifically, we had some over the Washington, D.C. area since 9/11. And so we have all these intergovernmental agencies that cooperate now on what goes on with general aviation, commercial aviation. So we got Department of Homeland Security, we have the TSA, and they all are coordinating under, well, there's the, with Potomac and TRACON and all these other radar sites and tracking sites, FAA, all this, they all coordinate, and they report to an individual then to assess the threat of a incursion. In other words, so you can get an idea of how the pillars of your government handles your airspace incursions. Uh, so, what they do is they have, the United States divided up into areas of importance and sensitivity and how they respond accordingly. So, uh, other nations, specifically Russia, okay, they like to test airspace. Okay, whether it be over Japan, whether it be over China, whether it be over the United States, whether it be over Colombia, there's all kinds of incursions that Russia does on a global basis, not just to the United States of America. Okay, they do it with their bombers, they do it with their submarines. They're known for that activity. And so, yeah, you can read this document here, and you can come up with a great idea of how it's handled within your government in their response to incursions on your airspace. So we still have this missing flight. Okay, this Malaysian flight, it is gone without a trace. Without a trace. You don't have debris, you don't have a crash, you don't have nothing. You know, 200 plus passengers gone without a trace. And so that's something that should be addressed. But anyway, what I wanted to really show you here, still everything's quiet here. Let me get back down here. When that X flare went off, I thought I'd go ahead and take a look at earthquakes. Okay, and here we go, the USGS. And right when I got there and opened up the map, one thing that caught my eye over here on the left is so many California quakes. And so I put my setting on all magnitudes worldwide for the last 7 days. Of course, the most recent being up here at the top. And the California ones are telling because they're all from La Habra, Fullerton, La Habra, Brea, La Habra, Roland Heights, California, La Habra, Roland Heights, and they're all 2.4, 2.6, 3.3s, 3.2s, 2.9s, okay? So this is the breaking news I wanted to get to, okay? So sorry I didn't lead with this. And so here you have the quakes. I'm zoom out one more click, and you can actually see that over here in Oklahoma, and I believe that's Montana down there. You can see there 2.8 in Montana. But specifically, if you zoom in, oops, sorry folks, on the ones that are in La Habra and Brea, okay, and I encourage you to go out and check this out for yourself. I have it on the satellite. So that you can see specifically where this swarming is occurring and why it's important for you to recognize this. And as I zoom in, look at how many are clustered in this one particular area. And you're saying, well, why is this so important? Well, if you know this, I grew up in Southern California, specifically this area, Norwalk, La Habra, all these areas I'm very familiar with. And what you may have forgotten is that this is a highly volcanic area, okay? Yeah, they did a couple movies, Volcano and all that about, Los Angeles blowing up into a volcano. And I'm not doing this because of the movie. I'm doing this because look at what's going on. This area right here happens to be where the Brea Tar Pits and other attractions, I guess you could say, are located that deal with geology. And I don't know if you remember the Big Bang Theory, where they go and visit there, but this is where it's located. And this is a very volcanic area. Okay, now if I were to go here and turn on my settings here to the street, and go ahead and put street. Back. There's Fullerton. Okay. There's Brea, Imperial Highway, La Habra, Whittier, West Whittier Boulevard, Rosecrans Avenue. Okay. The nature reserve, you see this here? All right? I mean, I want to do it slowly so you can get an idea of these streets and the exact location where all these are located. Now, I need to go back to the satellite. And oops, let's get rid of this. And you can see. Look what's around there, folks. Now, one thing that I wanted to also mention, how do I know this is volcanic? Well, one, because of the area. Okay, people come from miles around to see the Brea Tar Pits. Well, those tar pits are related to volcanic activity. The magnitudes and the depths, okay, are what are telling to me. Look how shallow some of these are. We got a 2.9 in La Habra that's only 1.1 kilometer. Right on the surface, 3.2. Right on the surface, 3.3. Right on the surface, 1.2. 1.8, you know, you don't think these are large earthquakes, but look at the depths, how shallow these are. Right? Some of these aren't even breaking a kilometer. All right, so this is breaking news. This is volcanic activity, I believe, because of how shallow they are and the magnitude. What's probably occurring underneath, okay, is what's called the popping of lava tubes. Okay, lava tubes generally have a crust on top, you know, that keeps the lava underneath the ground. Okay, and when there's a shift or movement of the magma, those lava tubes tend to get pressurized, and sometimes the crust will crack and break. Uh, or if there's so much pressure, they burst into a volcano, or they'll follow the lava tubes out to the least path of resistance and to maybe eventually the surface. And that's why I wanted you to pay close attention to the depth of these particular events. And these are all the ones that are right here in California, this swarm here, they're right on the surface. So uh, that is something that I think that's not making the news, and the location is highly volatile to volcanic activity. So maybe we'll see a volcano erupt here. As you can see, if you zoom out, you see the general reaction to the San Andreas Fault. Here's that fault line right there, Salton Sea. I used to live out here too in the desert. Uh, so you got the general shaking here along the fault line, but most of the activity is coming from the volcanic area of California. So with that being said, you know, Solar Max alert, volcanic activity occurring in Southern California. You know, that sense ain't bringing this out. I don't see anybody bringing it out and they're mentioning earthquake swarms, and they're you know, mentioning earthquakes that are happening all over the place. A 5.1 happened in China, you know, yeah. But this is very telling. And if you go all the way out, um, most of the earthquakes that are happening in California, the deepest one is, I think, a 3.5 kilometer. It's very shallow, folks. Most of, on average, earthquakes happen at 10 kilometers or deeper. These shallow ones tend to be more volcanic in nature. So, uh, you know, is this another form of weaponized warfare too, with the technologies they have today? Because or if this is a natural occurrence, I think people should be paying attention. Right on top of the Brea Tar Pits, folks. Man. Well, anyway, God bless y'all. Just wanted to point something out that I found very unique. Tell me what you think. Go out to the USGS earthquake maps and check it out and zoom in for yourself. You can see exactly what's out there, and you know, you'll be amazed on what's going on right now. Well, thank you guys. You take care.